UN Security Council meets to discuss boiling Middle East.
Ministry of Health plans to propose determining the alcohol concentration in a driver's breath.
Reserve fuel supplies for the TET market.
You're watching today's news on NTV channel. My name is Hazam, your host. Let's come to some typical information. The United Nations Security Council held an urgent meeting on Monday afternoon at the request of Russia as the war in Gaza continued to fan tensions across the Middle East, with potentially dramatic consequences for regional peace and security.
At the meeting, the United Nations Under-Secretary-General for Political and Peacebuilding Affairs Rosemary DiCarlo warned that escalating attacks were fueling chances of miscalculation. She said that as everyone in the diplomatic world is all too aware, the tensions that have engulfed multiple countries in the Middle East continue to rise. According to UN officials, attacks take place almost daily across the Middle East, including about 165 attacks on United States facilities in Syria and Iraq, prompting U.S. strikes in the two countries. Also at this meeting, representatives of all countries called on concerned parties to prevent further escalation, comply with the UN Charter and international law, stop illegal military actions and not let the situation get out of control.
The Ministry of Health had just sent an official dispatch to experts and a number of specialized research units to give suggestions on the issues of alcohol concentration in the blood or breath of vehicle drivers.
The proposal is based on medical aspects such as alcohol concentration detected in the body is not due to the use of alcohol or beer. Limit the alcohol concentration in the blood or breath of a vehicle driver. This will be the basis for the unit to research and propose regulations on alcohol concentration in the blood or breath of drivers. Currently, Decree 100 stipulates, for motorbikes, the lowest level must not exceed 50 milligrams per 100 milliliters of blood or not exceed 0.25 milligrams per liter of breathing air, fine of 2-3 million Vietnamese dongs, revocation of driver's license from 10 to 12 months. The concentration is similar, but for cars, the driver is fined 6 to 8 million Vietnamese dongs and revocation of driver's license from 10 to 12 months.
According to the National Center for Hydrometeorological Forecasting, the humid phenomenon in the north of Vietnam will last until February the 7th. Then, new cold snap awaits northern Vietnam, with temperature dropping sharply on February the 8th.
Today, the north of Vietnam continues to be humid. Weak intensity of cold air causes humidity to increase to a highest level of over 90%, and the highest temperature reaches 27 degrees Celsius. This situation will last until the end of February 7th. From February 8th, cold air intensified, causing widespread cold in the north. At this time, the humidity decreases. Drizzle, fog and humidity also end. From February 8th to 10th, strong cold air causes the temperature in the north to drop to the lowest from 13 to 16 degrees. In some places in the high mountains, it is below 9 degrees. The cold weather is widespread and lasts to the first day of the Lunar New Year. During the first 4 days of the Lunar New Year holiday, the whole region will record the lowest temperature of 13 to 16 degrees Celsius. The mountainous area 10 to 13 degrees Celsius. It will be sunny and temperature will increase at noon, creating favorable condition for people to travel in the spring.
Coming up next are some updated news.
Former U.S. President Donald Trump urged Republicans to reject a bipartisan Senate deal trading tough new border security measures for Ukraine funding and other national security priorities. The $118.3 billion package includes $60 billion for Ukraine and $20 billion in new border funding. While U.S. President Joe Biden firmly supports this bill and calls on Congress to quickly pass a budget agreement in the next few days for him to sign into law, Donald Trump called it a gift to the Democratic Party and the last words of the Republican Party. According to Trump, the bill will help Democrats escape the burden of immigration and border issues, shifting that responsibility to Republicans.
The Prime Minister reminded agencies that when considering adjusting electricity prices, they must be consistent with the market, not jerky or hasty. This information was stated by Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh at a working session with 19 corporations and corporations under the Committee for Management of State Capital at Enterprises. In addition to price regulation, the Prime Minister also reiterated his request to the Ministry of Industry and Trade and the Vietnam Electricity Group not to have electricity shortages in the coming time. He assigned Vietnam Oil and Gas Group and Vietnam Coal and Mineral Group to ensure enough oil, gas and coal for electricity production as planned. In addition to the power source plant, accelerating construction and putting the 500 kV Line 3 Circuit 6 in Quang Trac, Phan Ooi into operation in June this year also contributes to ensuring enough electricity in 2024.
According to the Civil Aviation Authority, as of January 31st, the Federal Aviation Administration of the U.S. and the European Union Aviation Safety Agency had yet to issue any airworthiness directive linked to the recall of the potentially flawed PW1100G engines used in the Airbus A320 and A321neos. However, to ensure the ultimate aviation safety for PW1100G powered A321neos, the CAAV analyzed the possible effects of the engine recall announced by the manufacturer. According to the engine manufacturer, 44 Airbus A321neos operated by Vietnamese carriers are subject to the engine inspections. Among them, 8 Airbus A321neo aircraft of Vietnam Airlines stopped flying to remove the engines and send them to the maintenance facility.
Moving on to today's story. Before, during, and after the Lunar New Year, fuel demand often increased. Therefore, to ensure supply to serve the market, the enterprises in Nghệ An province have prepared source of fuel and have plans to regulate the supply of gasoline, oil, and gas to ensure the demand of people and consumer organizations. Besides the petroleum suppliers belonging to large focal units such as Nghệ An Petroleum Company, with a widespread business system in the province, some petroleum units in Ha Tĩnh which have a system of stores in Nghệ An have also added this essential item.
During the Tet holiday, the company ensures to supply enough goods to the market in the areas of Ha Tĩnh and Nghệ An because we have more than 40 agents.
In addition to petroleum, large-scale liquefied gas distributors with a large market share in Nghệ An have also been busier in recent days in dispensing and arranging gas transportation to many agents, wholesale and retail stores in districts and towns in the province.
Along with gasoline, during the Tet holiday, the company also has plans to ensure the storage of imported gas sources. In the context of the increase of fuel demand during the Tet holiday, the company arranges workers to serve 24/24 to ensure user needs.
According to surveys, to understand the storage plans for these essential goods in Nghệ An before the 2024 Lunar New Year, the supply of fuel is quite abundant. However, the consumer's concern is the need for increased inspection and control by the authorities, avoiding the mixing of poor quality goods and ensuring safety from fire and explosion when transporting, buying and selling gasoline, oil, gas. It's time to say goodbye. Thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.